Welcome back in 2026. It's Seth here. Happy New Year's, everyone. I'm wishing you guys a successful and a healthy 2026. I hope you guys are able to achieve all the goals that you want in 2026, and hopefully I'll be part of your life to help you become a millionaire in 2026 if you already haven't. So to start the year off, I thought why not discuss 5 rules that we should incorporate in 2026 to help you become richer. But before I do dive deeper into these rules, please hit the like button down below, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to help grow the channel. Now that you hit the like button, let's dive in. Now, the first rule that we want to implement in 2026 is to spend with a plan and not with emotions. How many times have you walked into a store thinking that you only need 1 or 2 items and that you'll just get those items and walk out? Let's be honest, that rarely happens. And personally, I always do that with Costco. I think I'm just going to get this 1 or 2 things and walk out. The truth is, that never happens. I end up getting a cart full of things. In the end, I end up paying a large bill. When it comes to money, it is a lot easier to spend money than to actually make money, as there's so many cool things that you want to buy or experience. But if we want to become financially independent early in life, we have to make those sacrifices now. There are a couple of strategies that you can use when it comes to emotional spending. The one that I really like is Warren Buffett's 10-10-10 rule. This rule simply states that how will I feel about my decision in 10 minutes? How will I feel about my decision in 10 months? And how will I feel about my decision in 10 years? This rule really helps you to evaluate what you're purchasing, especially if it's a bigger ticket item, on how you're gonna feel long term and not just now. So let's say that you're walking by the Apple store and then you see the new iPhone 17 Pro in the orange color. And now you get super excited and you wanna purchase this phone. Rather than purchasing the phone right away, you can use this rule to actually see if you wanna go through with the purchase. So you can decide, how would I feel in 10 minutes if I purchase this iPhone? Most likely, you're going to be super excited that it's a new iPhone, you got the orange color. So at that moment, you might think it's a good decision. But now if you start thinking, how would I feel in 10 months? You may realize that the excitement probably has worn off and you're probably not happy with the bill that you got from purchasing this phone. And also, Apple's probably already working towards releasing the next iPhone. And if you decide to see how would you feel in 10 years, let's be honest, you're not going to have that iPhone in 10 years. So I just bought an iPhone last year. And for me to go out and purchase a brand new iPhone this year makes no sense because I know in 10 months, I will not feel happy about my decision. So I will not go through with it. And for smaller purchases, you don't have to think about it for 10 months or 10 years. You can think about it for 48 hours or 72 hours and give yourself time to see if the item that you're purchasing is actually going to give you the satisfaction that you're really thinking of. And another strategy that you can use is budgeting. So let's say you set aside a certain amount of money you can spend on certain things each month. So let's say entertainment. If I have a goal of only spending no more than $250 per month on entertainment, I will just not go over this amount, no matter how much my friends ask me to go out. I will simply not go because it goes over the threshold that I've set up in the budget. I will just wait till next month to do that activity as my budget resets. So in 2026, let's make it our goal to not spend emotionally and reduce our excess spending. Now, moving on to the second rule that we should implement in 2026, and that is that we should pay down our bad debt as soon as possible. So if you're wondering, can debt actually be good or bad? And I would say yes, it can be good or bad depending on how you use debt. Good debt is debt that's usually taken on to achieve personal meaningful goals, or debt that's going to help you to earn more income or wealth in the future. So an example of good debt could be buying a home. For some people, this could provide security or stability, and home ownership in the long term could provide a great way for people to grow their wealth. A student loan could also be considered a good debt, as you're increasing your skills to hopefully increase your income in the future. Also, a business loan could be considered good debt, as you're taking on a loan to grow the business and increase your income in the future. Now, bad debt usually comes down to how you use this debt. Most of the time, bad debt is not used to increase your income or wealth, and it usually has really high interest rates. So for an example, credit card debt is one of the most widely debt most people hold, and this is usually your everyday ordinary debt such as your gas, groceries, and utilities. Payday loans are also really bad debt because you're also taking on a smaller amount of money with high interest rates. And really, any debt that's taken on to either go on a vacation or buy designer clothing or to fund your hobbies is considered bad debt. So if you do have bad debt outstanding, don't panic. In 2026, our goal is to pay these bad debts off. And the way you want to attack this is by paying off the loans with the highest interest rate first and then working your way down. So for an example, let's say you have credit card debt that's outstanding and your credit card has an interest rate of 26%. And also you have car loan that's outstanding and this car loan has a 9% interest rate. By comparing these two, I would pay off the credit card first and then move on to the car loan to pay that off as soon as possible. Think of it this way. If you're able to pay off your credit card debt, which has a 26% interest rate, now because it's paid off, you just got a 26% return that was pretty much guaranteed. You're not going to get any safer returns than that. Now, moving on to the third rule that you want to implement in 2026, and that is to protect your future self. If you're wondering, what do I mean by protecting your future self? What this means is that you are preparing yourself for any emergencies that may be headed your way, and you have no control over these. Hopefully this doesn't happen to anyone, but there always is a chance that you may lose your job or get an injury where you cannot work for a certain period of time. In that case, we need enough money to pay our monthly expenses until we get back on our feet and working again. So my recommendation is you save anywhere from 6 to 9 months of your average monthly expense as an emergency fund. So for an example, let's say your monthly rent is $1,500, your utility costs on average are $350, transportation expense is $450 per month, groceries cost you around $400 per month, and your other expenses around $350 per month. This means that your average monthly expenses are $3,050. And if we want an emergency fund for 6 months, that means that we need to save $18,300 to cover 6 months of expenses. And one thing I want to note is that an emergency fund is not just for when you lose your job. It could be when an unexpected expense comes your way, and it could be a great way to pay this expense. So for example, you could be hit with a car repair that you didn't see coming, or you discover your roof's leaking and now you need a roof repair out of the blue. So something that recently happened to me is that my parents' rental property was just recently vacant. And when I went to check out the property, it was not in a good condition at all, even from the outside. These tenants did not take care of the property at all. And also, I was not the one managing the property. So I'm in the clear. Luckily, because of this emergency fund, I was able to help my parents get the property back into its original condition. So having an emergency fund can be quite helpful. So in 2026, no more procrastinating and start saving for that emergency fund. Now moving on to the fourth rule that we want to incorporate in 2026, and that is to invest, but invest in simple and boring stuff. 2026 is a year of consistency. We want to be consistent with eating healthy, working out, and investing. The word investing scares a lot of people. They start to think that investments are like a casino, a pure gamble. But that's far from the truth. My recommendation is that everyone should be investing in the North American market, such as the S&P 500 index. This index tracks the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the United States. So by buying one share, that means you're buying the top 500 companies in North America. So on average, since 1957, when the S&P 500 index was created, the index has averaged just a bit over 10% each year. So my recommendation is that you invest a certain amount each single month into a low-cost index fund, which tracks the overall big S&P 500 index. And some of these low-cost index funds are VOO, IBV, SPLG, and my favorite for Canadians, ZSP. And also, if you're wondering what are the chances of losing your money in the S&P 500 index, let me tell you, if you're investing for the long term, you really have nothing to worry about. Research done by Trayton DeBar found that if you invest in the S&P 500 index for a 15-year period, the chance of you actually losing money is less than 0.2%. I don't know about you, but those are amazing odds in my opinion. So in 2026, let's all start being consistent with investing so that we can build our wealth in the long run. Now, moving on to the fifth and last rule that you want to incorporate in 2026, and that is to build one skill that increases your income. This skill could be anything that you're already strong in to make it better, or a whole new skill that you want to develop. Some examples are working on your sales skills, learning how to sell better, or your editing skills. Maybe you want to learn how to edit videos so you can work for a creator to make some side money. Or you've been wanting to make a career change, so you want to go back to school to get a diploma or degree, such as trying to become a nurse or trying to become an accountant. All these skills in the long term will help you to make a lot more money than you are today. And I see a lot of people trying to build multiple skills, but in the end, they can't even focus on one. So our goal in 2026 is to just work on one skill. I do want to highlight how important sales skills are in every aspect of life, even though you may not think that I want to sell something. In reality, you're actually selling every single day and you don't even realize it. You may be talking to your friends about what you want to do on the weekend with them, and you're selling them on the idea that your plans are the best and that they should all agree with you. And when you go to a job interview, you're selling yourself to the employer that you are the best candidate and they need to hire you. And every day at work, you're selling to your boss that you're the best employee, you work hard, and you deserve that promotion. So a lot of these skills don't have to just impact one area of life, they can impact many, making you earn more income in the long run. So these are my 5 rules that will help you become richer and wealthier in 2026. I hope you guys do incorporate some of these rules to help you to get wealthier faster. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, please stay tuned for future videos. And until next time, remember to keep investing.